starting to get some estimates for what Brock Purdy's contract is going to be. Clearly, I think there's going to be a long negotiation because I think the two sides could be really far apart. I've seen arguments that Brock Purdy's worth $61 million a year, and then Spot Track recently made an argument that he's worth 4 years, $194 million as 48.5 per season with $100 million guaranteed. They essentially said, let's give him the Daniel Jones contract, but like prorated for the current salary cap. That would be sort of meeting in the middle, and that would be Brock Purdy admitting that he's not quite elite. What do you think of that?
I mean, I think if you're Brock Purdy, you have to admit you're not quite elite. Let's be honest, dude. Like, you're not getting elite money. In my opinion, that ship sailed. If you want to get elite money, you're going to have to play on your rookie deal.
Fourth year. Yeah.
Because there's no way in hell the Niners could let you walk and you're not getting elite money. Like, you could walk into any front office in the NFL and say, I'll play for you if you give me 60 a year. No one would do it. So, in my opinion, I think that contract is good for both. It gives Brock incentive to make 50 a year almost. It's right along the line of what he would deserve. He does not deserve 60. He does not deserve 50. I personally would not even give him 45 plus. But, in the current, I guess, quarterback environment, where every quarterback is getting overpaid like a basketball player, you gotta, I guess, fork up some cash, which you can. I mean, I would not hate that deal purely because it's only $100 million guaranteed for 4 years. That's not bad at all. I would love that deal. I think that's super team friendly. I mean, dude, couple his fall off with his injury issues to his throwing arm. If I was John Lynch, I would just chuckle and just laugh and be like, no, bro, you're not getting a top end contract ever. Not from me. I think now's the time you just got to be real. You got to be real with him. You got to be real with his agent. We talked about this last time on the podcast. No. There's no universe in which a quarterback with 3 throwing arm injuries in 2.5 years, plus coming off his worst year in the league with missing the playoffs, is what are we doing, bro? That's a Jacksonville Jaguars Trevor Lawrence kind of deal if you're willing to overpay him after having that bad of a year.
What I think is interesting, the comparison I want to make for Brock, a lot of people point to Tua or Trevor Lawrence. I want to point to Jordan Love because they play in similar systems. And they're different in the sense that, you look at Jordan Love, it's man, he's so big. He's got a strong arm. And Brock's smaller, and he doesn't have the strong arm. But they play in the same system or similar systems. And both teams kind of treat him the same way. We don't really want you throwing that much. We want you, I think the Packers had threw 435 passes this year.
Yeah.
Love. And Purdy threw 455.
I mean, and you saw why.
We want you in doses. We want you to throw play action. You're really good on play action, but let me give you their numbers real quick. Brock Purdy this year, his quarterback rating was 96.1. He threw 20 touchdown passes and 12 picks. Jordan Love's quarterback rating was 96.7. He threw 25 touchdown passes and 11 picks. They're very similar quarterbacks. I mean, they don't look similar and their traits are a little different, but it's two guys that will lose the game for you if you put it in their hands.
They freak out. They get Jimmy's happy feet when
they will lose the game for you if you put it in their hands. You ask them to throw 35 passes, they're throwing picks.
Yeah.
So if it's we have a great defense and we're going to play from ahead, and we have a running back who's hella good, and we just want you to throw some play action passes 25, they're money.
Yeah.
But that's not what you're paying $55 million a year for.
I mean, people are going to hate this, but Lamar Jackson's the same way.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference, though. With Lamar and Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, they can throw 25 passes a game and still be worth the money because the running.
Can Lamar? He averages 2 turnovers a game in the postseason. He's actually the definition of what I wouldn't want to pay that much money for because of what he does in the postseason.
Yeah, Lamar does choke.
And that's the thing. That's the same thing with Love. It's the same thing with Purdy. When the game relies on you and we need you to be the guy, whether you're Lamar Jackson,
it's true,
whether you're Jordan Love or you're Brock Purdy, and when we need you to be the guys, not the regular season where Lamar Jackson is this wizard, it is in the postseason. you turn the ball
But
over.
here's my counter to that, and I agree with you. But if there's a game where Lamar Jackson doesn't have it, it's the playoffs, and he's skittish and nervous because there's so much at stake for him, and you can see it. You can just take the game out of his hands and say, you know what, Lamar, you're going to throw 15 passes today. Your job is to not throw a pick and to run 15 to 20 times and hand it off a lot. And they could possibly win that way. The Niners, if Brock's having one of those games in the playoffs where it's like, what the game he had against the Ravens, where it's like, ooh, it's not your day. Yeah. Well, then you just lose.
And that's my thing. With Love. Like, Love shows why Brett Favre wouldn't work in today's NFL, by the way. Because I think he is literally Brett Favre. He throws really horrible passes. It's just he gets so much hype when it works out. Like there was that pass last year where he threw it 60 yards in the air in triple coverage, but he got it over the defenders. So it was like, this guy's incredible. But this year you saw he's going to throw into triple coverage. It's just, will it work out? And can he bail himself out with his arm talent? And then you saw this year with Brock. He's going to throw really bad balls into double coverage or lead your receiver that you just signed $120 million into an absolute hospital ball that's going to take his kneecaps out. He's going to do it. So how much is that worth to you? How much is the stability of Brock Purdy worth to you? Because he's going to do that. He was Mr. Relevant for a reason.
I agree. It seems to me that around the league, the trend is that all teams want their quarterbacks throwing less. Like if you have even Josh Allen, it's like, dude, we want you to throw 27 passes and not turn the ball. All around the league, there aren't teams that are like, you know what, we want our guy throwing 38 passes a game. Except for Cincinnati wants to do that. Yeah. But every other team is like, we don't want to play this way because defenses are so freaking good and our quarterback will throw interceptions and we'll lose. So we want to run as much as possible. That seems like most teams in the league. And the teams that have a quarterback who can give you 6 to 15 carries are consistently winning.
Isn't it funny how we went from that running back run league to, wow, we're going to start seeing 60, 70 touchdowns a year to, hey, maybe they were onto something with a run heavy league because
it's going to be a too high defense league. Then let's all run the ball a lot.
I think Tom Brady was onto something too when he said today's quarterbacks, yes, they're more talented, but they're worse quarterbacks. They're bad. They don't know. Like, is Jordan Love more talented than most?
They're worse pocket passers.
Yeah,
a lot of these guys can do other things that Tom couldn't do, that Manning couldn't do. You know what I mean?
But that's why Brady was whenever he talks about it or Manning talks about it, they're like, I mean, the reason we dominate these guys is because we would pick these two high safeties apart. Like we'd pick them to death because these guys just don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're looking at anymore because they have so much talent. They'll just bail themselves out. And I think that's part of the issue is Brock Purdy's a bad this generation quarterback. Like he makes bad decisions for this generation of quarterbacks, which is why it's so disrespectful to compare him to someone like Drew Brees. Drew Brees on this team, it wouldn't even be close. You would be like, Brock who? Like he would still be buried on the depth chart.
My problem with quarterbacks who you don't want to throw a lot because you're worried they're going to throw the game away. So you want them in low doses, but they're not dual threat quarterbacks, is you're getting dangerously close to Jimmy territory. Okay, so we don't want you to throw a lot, and we have to have a great defense and a great running game, but you're a franchise quarterback. If you hand off a lot, like, no. To me, you got to be able to win and put the team on your back. Who is the best pocket quarterback in the NFL right now? Not a dual threat.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. Okay, and he missed the playoffs. Who's the second best?
I would say Patrick Mahomes.
I think Patrick Mahomes.
I think he's gotten really good at being a pocket quarterback. I think
that's why. He's really, really mobile when he needs to be. I'm saying like guys who don't have that. Guys who don't have that.
Guys that don't have it. Even okay, so
like guys who couldn't run for 300 yards in a season. You know what I mean? Guys who were like,
who would be the second? Dak?
Stafford.
Yeah,
and he's a great player.
Yeah,
right. But like, is he going to win another Super Bowl? Is he going to get to another NFC Championship game? It's tough. He had to go play in the snow, and it's like, well, you can't really do anything today, but Hurts can. And if Purdy were in that game, he would have been the same problem. Like, what do you do? What can you
That's my thing is,
contribute
why
today?
does everyone point at Stafford having 350 yards? Whereas if, in my opinion, right, I keep it consistent. People say I hate on Brock Purdy. I'm just consistent. If Brock Purdy performed that same way in that game, we would be talking about Brock Purdy only scored 20 points against that defense. What, like Brock Purdy lost only scoring 20 points offensively, and he got safetied, and he fumbled the ball away. But Stafford, it's like he couldn't do anything. He only has Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams, like all these players. But like it's so weird how certain quarterbacks have like these excuses built in. Because yeah, I agree with you. Like, is Stafford going to win another Super Bowl? Probably not, unless he has a ridiculously talented team, like when he won a Super Bowl in 2021, which he shouldn't even have won, by the way, if Jaquiski Tart didn't have bricks for hands. Like, if people think about it, they wouldn't even have been there if he just didn't eat popcorn before jumping on the field.
That is true.
Like,
That is
in
really
my
true.
like, that's why whenever like people bring up Stafford like as this all glorious quarterback, like, dude, he should not have a ring. Like, he shouldn't. If he didn't have a safety who's not even in the NFL, can't get on a team, by the way, because he's so awful. If he didn't throw it to him, bro, his career is over. And we're talking about, man, Stafford he just can't get it done. He's just not that guy. So it's like, I don't understand this obsession with Stafford. Like, pocket quarterbacks, like, in my opinion, are dead outside of Burrow. And is Burrow not dead because he has Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and an expensive offensive line? Like,
And let's go back to what you said a minute ago. Like, it's becoming a running league. The defenses are kind of dictating this. They want to take away the explosive passes, and they're conceding runs. And teams that are smart are really embracing it. Like, a lot of the best teams have gotten rid of their weapons. The Chiefs, the Bills, they're like, what are we paying all these wide receivers for? Even the Eagles, who are paying AJ Brown,
they're
like, hardly pass. They pass less than every team in the freaking league, and these are the teams that are having the most success.
They're also paying Devonta.
But yeah, so it's like if you want to be that kind of a team that's running really well, I don't see how having Justin Herbert or Sam Darnold or Jared Goff or Brock Purdy or Jordan Love helps you. What helps you is having Malik Willis, someone who can actually run too. I'm curious to see what the Packers end up doing at quarterback, because every time Malik Willis got in the field last year, he was great. And they were great.
They have the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Jordan Love's not going anywhere. They can't move him. They can't.
That's the thing. I mean, like,
on 8 games of production.
They paid Carson Wentz and moved him. Like, the Rams paid Jared Goff and moved him. It's a mistake, but teams will take the hit if they have a better option.
And my thing with this, right, is like, what do you like? That's why I like the Sport Track predicted contract, is you can move that. Like, will it suck? Yeah. But at the end of the day, you can move it. But yeah, man, like we were saying, like, it is a running league. Like, that's why when Purdy started showing off his legs, it was like, wow, this is an upgrade to Jimmy for sure. Because sure, Purdy is a good little bursty runner. Like, he can get you a few extra yards. Yeah.
He's elusive. He can extend a play, and he can scramble for a first down. Those are nice things.
I actually agree with that.
And he can give you the quarterback sneak. I like that too.
What talking head was saying it? I can't remember who said it. Didn't someone just, I think, was it Steve Young, Drew Brees, just said they want to see Purdy and more read option? I actually agree with that.
I do too. I think you want that package in your offense. Like, if Jaden Daniels can do it, then Purdy should be asked to do it too.
Like, in my opinion, I think Purdy, is he as fast as Lamar, Jalen Hurts? No. But he's quick. He has like a good burst. He has a good.
Just teach him to slide.
Yeah, he has a good 3 to 5 yards, and you can get first downs on 3 to 5 yards apiece. Like, so in my opinion, yeah, I agree. It's a running league. I think Kyle didn't learn with Trey Lance. QB power is not what you want to do.
No.
But throw in read options, throw in some RPOs. And yes, if I'm paying Purdy this money, I am putting him in situations where he has to run. And if he gets hurt again, I'm moving on. Like, I would, regardless of what you pay Purdy, I am drafting a quarterback or I am signing a Zach Wilson.
You made an interesting point just now. He needs to keep running, or even more when he gets paid. I think a lot of times teams and quarterbacks make a mistake like, okay, we paid you. You got to be a traditional pocket quarterback. Jordan Love, in 2023, he was running around. Last year, he stopped running and he was worse. It's like, dude, Jalen Hurts, he was running around. Last 2023, he stopped running because he got paid. And it's like, dude, no. You got to be that running back. And if you get hurt, you get hurt. Sorry, but you're not going to be good enough.
And now look at him, right? Like people,
he has to do both.
And I get it. I don't think Jalen Hurts is elite. I don't even think he's great. But he's a solid quarterback. Like, he's pretty good. And he's like, sure, is he the greatest arm talent? No. But he brings so much more than his arm talent.
Yes.
He doesn't need to have Matt Stafford's arm. Because
what he's doing is keeping you honest with his arm.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's a running league. So what he does, he hits the checkdowns. He completes 66% of his passes. He can execute an RPO attack, which is not sophisticated, and he'll take a couple deep shots. But ultimately, his job is don't throw picks and score rushing touchdowns. And he can do that.
Like last week, or I think it was last week, he had like a 30-yard rushing touchdown. Purdy could not do that.
No.
Like, but Purdy would at least get us 15, 20. Like, and that's my thing is like, you have to, when you have a quarterback with a weakness, you have to pair it with a strength. Purdy can't push the ball downfield. So what you need to do is you need to get him moving so that the safeties need to come up a little. What does that now do? It makes it easier for Purdy to be inaccurate downfield. So his receivers can stop and wait for the ball to get there without a safety coming over and picking the ball off. Why? Because the safeties now have to worry about Brock Purdy running underneath you, Christian McCaffrey running underneath you, Brandon Ayuk, Pearsall, Debo, Kittle running underneath you. So now you have too much to worry about. All right, let's bring the safeties in. Okay, they're deep. Purdy, limp a 40-yarder. And then Kittle will wait there for 10 minutes, grab it, take it downfield.
One more thing before we move on. I think we've talked about how it's a running league again. I agree. But it's not as simple as having a great running back because the Niners had one last year and McCaffrey got shut down in the Super Bowl. He fumbled. He averaged 3.5 yards a carry. If you have one back, the defense can shut him down, even if he's great, which is why no like great running back has led a team to a Super Bowl victory since like Terrell Davis.
Besides,
you can shut down one back.
Besides maybe Saquon.
but that's what I'm saying. Saquon, that's not a one-back offense in Philly. It's a two-back offense, and the second back is Jalen Hurts. And I think if it's a rushing league, then teams that have two-back offenses are going to be better than teams that have one-back offenses. Like, I'd rather have Lamar and Derrick Henry than Kyron Williams. I'd rather have Josh Allen and James Cook than Jahmyr Gibbs. But if you could pair Jahmyr Gibbs with
Dave Montgomery,
Justin Fields, with Jalen Hurts, with Jaden Daniels, it's a whole different thing.